Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Saturday morning.
We have breaking news this morning that affects us all. Our 41st president has died. President H.W. Bush passed away last night in Houston. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Kristen Lee.
And I'm Blaine Tollison. President Bush's death comes less than 8 months after the death of his wife and former First Lady Barbara Bush. ABC's Maggie Rulli takes us through an incredible life of an American hero.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
George Herbert Walker Bush was sworn into a world he called rich with promise.
For a new breeze is blowing, and a world refreshed by freedom seems reborn.
The 41st president and his presidency were shaped by the upheavals of the 20th century. On his 18th birthday, he enlisted to fight in World War II, becoming the youngest pilot in the U.S. Navy. By 1948, the future president had married Barbara Pierce and moved his family from New England to Texas, where he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. He soon rose to become ambassador to the United Nations and then China, director of the Central Intelligence Agency, and under Ronald Reagan, vice president. After 2 terms in the Reagan administration, Bush ran for president himself, defeating Michael Dukakis. Bush made a promise he would later break.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
But progress on his watch was felt around the world. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of communism in Eastern Europe. Perhaps most notably, the liberation of Kuwait after the Iraqi invasion.
A line has been drawn in the sand.
Despite his popularity after the Gulf War, a faltering economy and a growing budget deficit eventually weakened his presidency. And in 1992, Bush was defeated by Bill Clinton. With the election of George W. Bush in 2000, the senior Bush joined John Adams as both president and presidential father. He devoted his retirement to helping others, raising money with President Clinton for Asian tsunami and Hurricane Katrina victims.
He easily could have chosen a life of comfort and privilege. And instead, time and again, when offered a chance to serve, he seized it.
In the end, Bush, like his son, insisted he would let history measure his legacy. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
President Bush was 94 years old.
His children, including President George W. Bush, released a joint statement overnight. They called their dad a man of the highest character and the best dad a son or daughter could ask for. They also thanked everyone who has prayed for their father and shared their condolences. President Trump also released a statement. It reads in part, President Bush inspired generations of fellow Americans to public service. President Trump also says Bush's example lives on and will continue to stir future Americans to pursue a greater cause.
And former President Barack Obama said in a statement, George H.W. Bush's life is a testament to the notion that public service is a noble, joyous calling, and he did tremendous good along the journey. Such kind words there, and what an incredible legacy.
Yeah.
His time in World War II, director of the CIA, he lived an incredible life.
For him and the First Lady, they were married for 73 years. Sad news, but an inspiration to this country, truly.
Absolutely, and our coverage will continue here on Saturday morning Eyewitness News, as well as for the next several days, as we're sure there will be memorials in Washington, D.C. and at his home in Texas. But we're going to change gears now and get to your forecast on this Saturday, which we do have a little bit of a cloudy start out there.
Yeah, quite a busy weather story for you today. Warmer and rainy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have some good news. I have some bad news. And the good news is really the temperatures today and tomorrow looking really nice. In fact, right now you're waking up to temperatures in about the 50s, 53 degrees in Charlotte. We're in the 40s in the high country, the upper 40s. So it's feeling pretty nice out there. Tomorrow we're talking about temperatures near record breaking. So here's a look at today, 60 degrees. We will see those rain showers popping up throughout the next few hours and all the way through the afternoon and evening. I'm going to be timing them out really closely. So if you're headed to that ACC championship game, I will let you know what you can expect out there. 60 degrees though, and those showers popping up. But here's a look at your weekend forecast. Believe it or not, meteorological winter starts on December 1st. So this is the first weekend of winter for meteorologists, and it doesn't really feel like winter out there. We'll see temperatures mid-70s tomorrow, right around that record-breaking temperature of 76 degrees. We're going to be timing all of this out, but I also have some colder temperatures to tell you about. We'll have all of that information coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Jacqueline. This morning, authorities in York County are urgently searching for this 21-year-old. Take a close look. This is Eli Eason. Deputies say he has a disability and he was last seen on Old York Road near Shiloh Road. He was wearing a black jacket, gray pants, and brown boots. Deputies hope you can recognize Eli and can help bring him home safe this morning. A woman shot by a Gastonia police officer wanted this video released so everyone could see what happened to her. The officer is cleared in the shooting that was ruled accidental.
Channel 9 petitioned to have the video made public, and we received it yesterday. We do want to warn you, though, that it may be hard to watch at times. Eyewitness News reporter Stephanie Tinoco takes us through it.
Hey, he's running. Too bad I'm 26, I'm 43 on foot. Let me see your hands, get in it. Let me see your hands. Drop what you got. Let me see your hands. Let me see. He ran in it.
These are the moments.
Shot fired. He wouldn't show me his hands.
Showing what unfolded on Gray Street in Gastonia on July 8th.
He went in the door and my thing slipped. Oh, there's children in the house.
A bullet pierced through the door of this home and hurt a mother inside. The officer who fired the shot runs to another officer moments after and calls it in. This video footage is from a different officer's body cam, showing his interaction with the mother after she was shot.
Show me your hands.
It's me. Y'all just shot me. I got my kids.
Show me your hands.
Look, I'm showing you my hand. Y'all just shot me.
Show me your hands.
Y'all just shot me in my look.
Come here.
My kids
okay.
In the video, you can hear the woman tell the officer she called police to report someone trying to steal her children's toys from her yard. Coincidentally, officers were already in the area, chasing a man on foot. Jarvis Lynn, a convicted felon who also turned out to be the woman's brother, and is the one seen running inside the house seconds before the shot was fired. It's unclear if the woman knew officers were looking for her brother or where the man she said was attempting to steal from her yard went.
Yes, he went in the house. He was the one I was going after.
Stephanie Tinoco, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
The mother and her attorneys are trying to decide whether they will pursue legal action against the Gastonia Police Department. Dan McCready says he respects the decision to delay certifying the District 9 House race results until a full investigation is finished. The Democrat released that statement last night. He's referring to the State Board of Elections vote to hold an evidentiary hearing into potential voter fraud by Mark Harris's campaign. Sworn affidavits show that voters claim someone illegally collected their absentee ballots. The hearing will happen sometime in the next 3 weeks. The board investigating all this was set to be disbanded this coming Monday, but yesterday judges ruled that the board can stay together until December 12th.
Starting today, Charlotte families having to sleep in the cold will have a place to go for help. Homeless shelters were stretched thin this week with families needing a warm place to stay. Room in the Inn will open to help with the overflow, and organizers are expecting a larger need than in past years. Well, by the end of the night, the ACC will crown its football champion right here in the Queen City.
Clemson will take on Pittsburgh in the big game, and Charlotte businesses, they're going to win too. They'll get a boost from the fans in town. The Charlotte Sports Foundation says last year's game drew 58,000 people and generated $39 million for the city. Yesterday, I found Draft in Uptown setting up to host a Clemson tailgate today. The manager told me this weekend draws far more guests for them than the average Panthers home game.
What we do on a typical Sunday, we're anticipating to quadruple that number.
That game starts at 8 at Bank of America Stadium. You can also watch it right here on Channel 9. That party for football fans will start several hours beforehand.
Yeah, tens of thousands will celebrate at the ACC Fan Fest. It starts at noon. We have Traffic Team 9's Mark Taylor showing us the streets that are going to shut down for the festivities and the ways that you can avoid the closures.
Multiple road closures will be happening in Uptown Charlotte later this afternoon. ACC Football Championship Fan Fest. We're expecting 30,000 attendees, so a lot of pedestrian and foot traffic as well. Now, the event time is at noon until 7, but these roads won't reopen until 11:30 tonight. So I want to walk you through what roadways will close. So you're going to have this section of South Tryon between 4th Street and Levine Avenue of the Arts. Then you're also going to have Levine Avenue of the Arts closed between Church and College Street, as well as MLK between Church and College, and 3rd between Church and College. So if you're not heading to the event, you could use the roadways around it using Graham and Stonewall. If you are heading to the event, you can take the light rail.
A live look outside this morning, and you can see the sun is up. We have some clouds with us. Let's get to meteorologist Jacqueline Shearer. She's in Severe Weather Center 9, and fans are definitely going to want to take something for some possible rain today.
Yeah, you know what? We are starting to see a few showers throughout the region ahead of that main line of storms, which I'm going to show you coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes. But here's what we're seeing for that game there. Some nice temperatures. That's the good news. But those shower chances do not go away anytime soon. And at times, even some heavy rainfall is possible. This is again because of a system that's moving through the southeast right now, bringing some severe weather to some spots. We're going to take a look at it and what it does when it comes here coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jacqueline, CMS found increased levels of lead in water at 4 more schools. The district announced yesterday testing shows lead levels above state standards in a sink in the visitors concession stand at Harding University High School's football stadium, in a sink at South Mech's gym concession stand, in a sink in the baseball concession stand and the teacher's lounge at East Mech, and a classroom sink at Kennedy Middle School. CMS says all of those sinks are now out of service. The test also found elevated copper levels at the Smith Family Center, South Mech, and J.T. Williams Montessori. The district's goal is to test every school.
Heartfelt tributes to fallen loved ones removed from this North Carolina cemetery. All new at 7:45, the controversial rule making residents furious.
And a Charlotte woman says a man who attacked her at a bus stop would have killed her.
I get a big bear hug, and all I know I'm being dragged.
At 7:30, the way she managed to fight him off before he could put her in his car.
And new e-scooter dangers that have nothing to do with the road. Next, the valuable information scooter companies could be taking from you.